Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Anything Wrestling Podcast. Thank you once again for joining us. We are back here today. Today, unfortunately, is not a triple threat. We are missing Dan the Man. He will be back soon. But for right now, it is the Shant and...
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is the Commish. Not only will I be the advocate of the podcast, I will also be co-handling the sponsorships of the podcast and the match breakdown guy as well. I swear, if someone's listening, hire us because doing this requires a lot of pay. For the love of God.
Well, with that said, today's episode is sponsored by...
WWE's Fastlane. Let's just see what happens. Which takes place at the Quicken Loans Arena, which is also brought to you in part by Quicken Loans. I have no idea how to work the software, so someone guide me with that. Also brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. God, I'm thirsty.
Well, with a very nice beverage and with a pay-per-view like Fastlane, you can catch it only on the WWE Network for a non-negotiable but very reasonable price of only $9.99.
$9.99.
It's not $10.
It's not $1,000, nor is it $1 million.
But
$9.99.
So, as we alluded to before, we are here to preview WWE Fastlane 2019, the final stop before WrestleMania. Match breakdown guy, let's do it.
Well, actually, you know what? Real quick, just to get it out of the way, two things. One, congratulations to a Tori Wilson being inducted into the 2019 Hall of Fame, which is her additional path to WrestleMania. And we do pay respects to the most recently passed away Christopher Allen Paley's, which, if you all know, he was formerly known as King Kong Bundy. May he rest easy, eternally, in that great big ring up in the sky.
I think it would be appropriate to have just a couple seconds of silence for King Kong Bundy. So let's do that now. Rest in peace, Bundy. God bless. So, with that piece of business taken care of,
so what I'm gonna do is, it seems like now, like according to this unreliable and unknown source of where we find information, Wikipedia. I'm not gonna do it in the exact order, but I'm gonna do it what is the pre-show match has already been determined, and then just pick the other matches in a particular order.
Okay, because last time we started off with a high and we ended with a really bad low, so let's not do that again.
So according to this, the pre-show is going to start with, it disappoints me that it has to be this match, Rey Mysterio versus Andrade. This rivalry has been building for a couple of months now. I like it because it's bringing out the best in Rey. I don't like it that we have to see this as a pre-show match. Because I get it. You're getting the crowd hyped up, but it's like, are you taking the 205 Live route with these two? Because that kind of sucks.
You know, I've kind of been an advocate for Andrade. Anytime that we've talked about a dark horse or someone who could be the sixth member of a Elimination Chamber match, I've always thrown Andrade's name in there. Very great athlete. Some of his matches over this last year has been great. He had a 5-star match last year against Johnny Gargano. And then you have Rey freaking Mysterio, someone who is world renowned and everybody knows who the guy is. Going back to your point, yeah, unfortunately we got the 205 Live treatment where you could have a great match, but you're going on the pre-show. So,
like why would you do that to these guys? Out of all people, is it because it's like they're that much high flyers that they can get the crowd hyped up, or is it because you couldn't squeeze in another match or make something else happen? I mean, I think that's where I'm bugged by it. I don't know how you feel.
Personally, I feel like even back in the day when you wanted to get the crowd hyped up, you didn't have to throw in a pre-show in there. Yeah, there were kickoff show matches, that were usually one-on-one matches that no one really cared about. But then that first match was a good match where it's like, it can get you hyped up. Yeah, I would say, and I think I even looked at the card last night. I think there's a total of like 7 matches, so it's not even that much. It's like you could have squeezed this one in there as well. But yeah, unfortunately, they got that 205 live treatment.
Well, how do you feel like, honestly, like where this rivalry is going? Because there was supposed to be this whole thing where they were going to go for a while, and then all of a sudden they were going to become a team.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I would say that's a good way of keeping both of them on the show each and every week. Both of these guys can go, and it's one of those things where it's like, if we can have great matches, when we're facing against each other, what can we do together? Both of these guys, they know how to fly, they know how to create great matches. Yeah, but I mean, if you're relegating them to pre-show match, good luck with people being invested.
2 out of 3 falls match on SmackDown. I think the best thing I've seen in a while on SmackDown. I don't know, man.
How do you expect for us to care if you're putting these matches on pre-shows where half the people are not even watching and half the arena is not even seated yet?
Supposedly, but like, I think they're like a lot of fans are posting pictures. Well, at least like the true fans are posting pictures that, oh yeah, it looks empty in here. WWE's dying. When it's like, no, there's people in the stands. There's people still watching.
Yeah.
Just because the other competition is slowly threatening. And they have their second pay-per-view finally announced.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. It's in like July.
What is it called?
It's spread out. Here, let me pull it up real quick while...
Is it Royal Flush?
Amazingly, it has gone out of the whole direction of...
Card
games or poker-related games.
Is it All Out? No, because I know that was a thing, All Out.
No, it's a Fight for the Fallen.
Okay.
And it takes place in where their promotion is starting in Jacksonville.
Okay.
But that's all we're going to mention about that. Again, we haven't decided yet when we're going to do an episode dedicated to the brand. Don't worry, they'll get their shine. We are going to talk about what they're doing. Because, again, we think competition is always great.
Yeah.
Of course, we're solely dedicated to the WWE. But, again, this is anything wrestling. But back to the pre-show match, I'm just going to make my pick. I think what they're doing with these two is they're pushing them so much. But I think Andrade is getting the bigger push. I think Ray's going to put him over. That's just my pick.
Yeah, I'm there with you.
All right, so we're both all in on Andrade.
On the same page.
No, there it is. You had to get another one in. Just like she did. Anyways, moving to the next match. A triple threat tag team match for the WWE Raw Tag Team Championship. We have the revival of Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, the current champions who almost lost to NXT / Raw's current newbies, Aleister Black and Ricochet versus former tag team champions Chad Gable and Bobby Roode. Obviously, I'm just being an idiot. The Revival, Dash Wilder and Scott Dawson, Aleister Black, Ricochet, Chad Gable, and Bobby Roode.
Is this on pre-show?
No, we're on to the main card.
Okay.
Now. So, you said this a few weeks back that Taz said this about tag teams. The fact that, like, Lafayette completely didn't give a damn about tag team matches. And it's like, these guys are putting on a show. They were, like, on the verge of leaving the brand because they weren't going nowhere. Now that they got what they wanted, you're invested. Not so much. Why is that? I don't like this treatment of tag teams. It sucks because it's like, if your singles competition can't save the show, you rely on tag teams. And tag teams usually put on the better show because you get more than 2 competitors. You get 4, or in this case, 6. All these 6 guys are really good competitors, especially seeing new blood on the brand with Aleister Black and Ricochet.
Here's my problem, is that Aleister Black and Ricochet, I don't got a problem with them. I mean, I personally, I love seeing them perform. They always have great matches, so that's awesome. Just the fact that you just spontaneously throw them on the main roster, and then you have them winning week after week after week, and you're making people like Sheamus and Cesaro and the Revival, who are the champs, by the way, just lose. And I don't know if this is a full-blown Raw debut, because when they come out, their name tag is still NXT name tags. It's not Raw. So I'm like, okay, they're still on NXT, I guess. The biggest problem with WWE now is consistency. There is none. I saw a match, this is maybe like a month back, where it was Revival versus Bobby Roode and Chad Gable. And I think it was when Bobby Roode and Chad Gable won the championships. That match was awesome, and the crowd got into it. This is awesome, and I'm like, hell yeah, it is. These guys are having a wonderful match. But then one week they're on the card, then the next week they're not, then the next week they're backstage watching a match, and they're not even out in the arena. And then Aleister Black and Ricochet come in, and it's like Revival, they get this one perk, and then they're losing like 5 matches. They get this one high, and they're losing 5 matches. And it's like no consistency. I have no reason to believe that this could be a legitimate match, because no consistency, no faith in any of the wrestlers, because you're just throwing shit to... Dan always brings this up, where it seems like this is still a thing for Raw booking, is let's throw it on the wall. It sticks. Okay, that's tonight's Raw. SmackDown seems a little bit more structural in that sense. They still have their weird segments and whatnot, but with Raw, I just feel like if you don't have consistency, no one's going to buy into the wrestlers.
I think that has something to do with it, but it also has to do a lot with the fact that it's like you have so many like people on the roster going for you, but even in 3 hours, it seems like you don't have enough time. And that's what's killing me. It's like 3 hours should be more than enough time for story, for competition, and development. I don't know how the hell you find it like, do what you can in 20 minutes, and if it looks decent, we'll fix it in editing and in post. It's like, no? What is wrong with you?
I think a big problem is that there is a, I believe surplus is the right word, where you have not only enough talent, but you have an overflowing amount of talent where there's just too much people. And that's what happens when the night after WrestleMania, when it's Raw, you have 6 people from NXT debut. And so many, I know Triple H says you look at half the roster, it's all NXT, bred. Yeah, but it's also more than half of those NXT superstars who have just fallen down the card. I'll always go back to this. They had an instance where they had Heavy Machinery, Lars Sullivan, Nikki Cross, and EC3, and all these people coming from NXT, and I'm like...
No, everyone minus Sullivan.
Yeah, everyone minus Sullivan, but you look at it, Nikki Cross comes on the main roster, she's already lost all of her matches, and she hasn't appeared in like 3 weeks. Then you have Lacey Evans, who comes out and then goes back in. I've heard that somewhere before. You have Heavy Machinery, who's not there for 2 weeks and then is there for 1 week. You have EC3, who beat Dean Ambrose like 4 weeks ago, and we haven't seen him since.
Well, he lost on the following week, and then he disappears.
Yeah, so it's like, do you see already? It's like I'm not invested. I'm already not invested in any of those people. Personally, I was so excited to see Nikki Cross, but first of all, she comes out to a dead crowd. Her music hits, it's her debut, and everyone's like, bathroom break? Yeah, let's go.
So disrespectful.
And she's already losing. It's like, okay.
And they put her as a gimmick later on with Alicia Fox. Even in the live shows, they put her as a gimmick with Carmella, I think, recently.
Again, Vince McMahon's paw prints all over it. So I want to be invested, but something tells me these guys can all have a great match. Going back to your point, everyone's talented, but without consistency, you can't buy in.
Well, let's try to go back to the tag match itself. Like, okay, don't get me wrong, I love seeing Aleister Black and Ricochet together, even though they look better separate as single competitors, exactly. Because that's what I've kind of grown accustomed to seeing on NXT. But to me, it's just like, are you putting them together right now because they kind of need each other on the main roster according to Vince? Or is it just because it's like, yeah, I don't know where to put you in singles competition yet?
Well, see, Vince is stupid.
Wow.
For a guy who sits there and says Cesaro needs to get over with the crowd, it's like, okay, then you're obviously not paying attention. I will still harbor feelings on the night, and I will always go back to that. It's really a shame because you have NXT superstars who have been on the main roster for years now and are still struggling to find their fix. And then you have all these new NXT comers coming in, and it's like, yeah, there's a big surplus because you're not doing anything with your previous NXT stars, and now you just brought in 7 or 8 new people.
So, do you feel like this tag match is really just going to be like, let's see what the 6 of you can do, and whoever wins just wins?
It's filler.
Wow. So who do you have on this?
I'm going to say Revival on this one because Aleister Black and Ricochet, like I said, I think they're still NXT. They're just doing a special thing where they come on Raw. And Bobby Roode and Chad Gable, again, I have not seen them on TV for the last couple weeks with the exception of a backstage segment here and there. And it's a shame because especially Revival have caught my eye as people who are legitimate tag team wrestlers. They know psychology, they know storytelling, they know how to give you a great match. In NXT takeovers, they were giving you, match of the night time after time after time. And now they're relegated to just jobbing out to the newest toy in town. So, yeah, again, I'm sorry, not invested by any means, but if you have any brain cells left and you don't want these guys walking out of your company who are a legitimate tag team, you will have the Revival retain.
I'm going to go with the Revival, too, just because it's like, I think Chad and Bobby had their run as tag champs already. I don't see them as invested right now.
Yeah.
Not me, them. And that's sad that I'm calling them. But moving on to another tag match, a rematch of what was it, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
We have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship match of the current champion, the Usos, Jay and Jimmy Uso Penitentiary versus Team McMiz, The Miz and Shane McMahon. I just see this rematch as kind of like it's a build-up. I think something's coming.
At Mania?
Yeah. Between Shane and Miz.
I personally felt like taking the tag titles off of them was way too quick. Had you done it at Fastlane and then built up the story of Miz and Shane, that would have made a whole lot more sense as opposed to they just won the titles and now 3 weeks later they lost it. Again, WWE now has that hot potato mentality. Win the title and then lose it. Win it back again, lose it. So, I think, you should have had Miz and Shane, retain last time and then lose it here and then build that for WrestleMania.
Because it kind of gives more credibility that it's like, okay, either Miz or Shane gets frustrated with the other, like, hey, we were supposed to make something work out of this. Or you could even build it like, I kind of like heel Shane. So you can have Shane be the one like, hey, you got me so invested in this crap with you. Look what you're doing. Have him turn on the Miz. And just build from that. But you're right. Stripping him of the tag belts was the worst thing to do at Elimination Chamber. Because it's like, you put them in a rematch, and it's just a frustration rematch.
Yeah.
You're gonna have. They're not gonna go over. I think they're gonna lose. The Usos are gonna win. I already have that as my pick, and it's like, this is what we were going with. Why can't we just wait till this day?
Yeah.
And then start the build up? Because what? After that, WrestleMania is what, 4 weeks away?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, let's just.
Why not?
We're not good with stories lately, so let's just. That's where I feel like Dan needs a job at this point. Because, my God, the story... Whoever is in writing right now is really making things, like, go in one direction, and then creatives like, yeah, I like that direction. And then there's no one there like, no. That makes no sense. You know?
Swerves.
So I got the Usos on this.
Yeah, because I think they've been teasing Shane and Miz
Too much?
Mania. Yeah, so yeah, Usos go over Sunday.
I'm gonna stick again with another tag match. This time for the women's inaugural tag team championship. You have the Boss in Hug Connection with Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax and Tamina. I haven't seen them in like a couple weeks.
They've been
Nia Jax and Tamina, I mean.
They've been having single matches against Bayley and Sasha. Yeah, a part of me feels like that women's tag team thing. Again, I feel like there is no direction. There's no story. We're just kind of putting stuff together.
Well, okay, we knew that these two were going to be their competition as far as Nia and Tamina. We knew that because, again, right now you have Sasha and Bayley doing this campaign, going to each show, including NXT, like where they came from. Like, hey, we're going to defend against anyone at all. Doesn't matter if you're Raw, SmackDown, even NXT. We're ready for you. And to me, I thought two things. One, I thought... Actually, you know what? Let's make it three. I just thought of it right now, too. The first... No. God damn it. The first thing being when they go to SmackDown, you would have Team Fire and Desire come out like, hey, we gave you the best match of your careers. We deserve the rematch first. They go to NXT. Open challenge to anybody. You don't need the women's champion of NXT to come out because she's been particularly busy in her own shit. But she does have a pair of friends that could say like, hey, we're worthy. We're ready. We have something in particular of a problem with you two.
Yeah.
Build the story that connects Dan's favorite story, which would lead up to a culmination of things that happen. But then when you get to Raw, it's like, well, we're the only dominant team here other than you two.
I beg to differ. Riot Squad.
I meant in size. But you're right.
Okay, yeah.
But you're right. There's more than one tag team on Raw. But it's like between the Riot Squad and Team No Personality over there, it's like, who's more deserving? I get that they want to put the stronger no talent or no personality gimmick. Might as well keep it against them, but it's like, no, like honestly, like I'm annoyed with Nia on TV right now because it's like you get the Big Show treatment. You're a heel, you're a face. You're a heel, you're a face. I think she's gonna break the record. She's gonna have more turns than Big Show.
Well, 32 is the record, so you go for it. I will say this. I like that idea of facilitating the tag titles to
All
NXT, SmackDown, because if NXT superstars win the NXT championship, then it's like, if you want the titles, you got to come back to our woods and you got to take it. Don't give me the A-lister Black and Ricochet treatment when, oh yeah, we'll go to Raw, we'll go to... No. You got to come to us if you want your tag titles back.
Mm-hmm.
Personally,
come back home.
Yeah.
What you know.
Yeah. Personally, I would say this I feel like it's a filler. Going to Mania, what I would love to see would be a triple threat tag team match. Sasha, the Boston Hug Connection versus Fire and Desire versus Riot Squad. Riot Squad to me is the counterpart of Revival. They have tag team psychology. I will always go back to the Evolution pay-per-view where I was like, I didn't see anything in you guys before, but I see it now. Mm-hmm. It's a shame that you guys are busy jobbing out to instead of actually having a build-up. So, and you and I were high on Sonya Deville once Elimination Chamber went off the air. I still am, but let's be honest, that momentum has dropped. They're not doing anything with her. It seems like Mandy Rose now is the main focus. Asuka hasn't been on TV for like the last 2 weeks with the exception of yesterday. But I would say give these women time because that's what I feel like they need. Just give them time. Don't put them in gimmicky segments or matches. Let them go out there and let them perform because they prove to us that in moments like Elimination Chamber, if they can have a story, if they can have just a platform to have a match, they will deliver. Go back. I mean, even Iconics at Elimination Chamber, they did their thing. They were entertaining, you know? They used the Elimination Chamber structure to make the match entertaining, to be the humor, the comedic side of the whole match. So, again, I love that idea. Have them go to all 3 shows. If NXT or SmackDown gets wind of the tag team championships, then it's like, come to our neck of the woods and take back your championship. We're not coming to you.
If you really want it bad enough.
Yeah, come back to us. We're not coming at you.
Well, the only reason why that works is because it seems like it's okay that 2 SmackDown superstars are trying to fight for the Raw Women's Championship, and it's like, you're signed to the other brand still. We're allowing cross promotion to happen. Okay, so I think that's where it would work.
Yeah.
But again, I just feel like with this match, with Team No Personality versus Team All Personality, it's just like I'm not as excited, unfortunately. I'm excited because we're getting the women's evolution going forward still, but at what cost? I already have that Sasha and Bayley are going to win.
Yeah, I'm there.
And it's like, I'm not picking it out of like, oh, I don't like the other 2. It's just because it's obvious. That's the bad part. And it's obvious that I see who they want to choose to like give the push. But anyways, we have 1, 2, 3 matches left. Oh no, 4. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put this one in the middle, and it sucks that I have to put it there. Let's go with the WWE Championship match between the newly returned Kevin Owens versus the new Daniel Bryan. Let me just say, I don't think I got to say it last week because we still thought that it was Kofi Mania was coming, whatever. I think this was a ploy to keep Kevin Owens because no one knew where he was. No one knew contract-wise what was happening with him. Because, yeah, he was hurt for a good while. He needed surgery on both his knees. And it's like, all right, yeah, he has little segments where he's back. We thought he was going to be back in January. But at the same time, it's like, you're still not back. Are you 1 foot in, 1 foot out the door? What's going on with you?
And I know you've been a big advocate for Kevin Owens. Mm-hmm. Contrary, I've been a big advocate for Sami Zayn. I personally like this. When Kevin Owens came back and he was doing the nice guy thing, I'm like, are you trying to pull one on me? I wasn't buying it. I'm like, I think you're going to turn it. But it's like, no, they're going with the full-blown face turn. By the way, Stunner, Top
Oh, it
notch.
looks nice.
It looks nice.
It-
The first couple that did looked kind of wonky and kind of out of place, but these two, they're solid, and I think it helps that he's in better shape now.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's because of like his physical form and performing it at first was like, I don't know if you're the guy to pull that move off. I mean, there's other guys who steal every other move. The stunner is one you need to be very, the stunner is one you need to be very particular with.
And Austin even called him out because the move was used as like a signature move that won't get the job done, and Steve Austin even called him out. And last week when he pulled off that stunner for the first time, Steve Austin gave his approval. Like when done correctly, it's very effective. But to go back to the thing, I've been hearing that this is just a way to keep Kofi kind of on the outskirts until Mania, when they're gonna bring him in and make him, because even AJ Styles said this in a backstage segment where he's like, you said that you were going to be listening to the fans. What happened? Everyone's chanting for Kofi. Why aren't you putting him in the title picture? And I'm okay with it as long as it's a precursor to, hey, let's have a filler at Fastlane, and then at WrestleMania we'll pull the trigger on Kofi. Very well deserved, by the way. Kofi as someone who's a veteran who can do pretty much anything that you ask him to do. Ladder match, Elimination Chamber, Royal Rumble, title match, gauntlet match. The guy can go.
He's a performer.
Yes.
And he's more than a workhorse.
Yeah.
He's literally, I think he's earned that right to be known as the guy to be the face of the brand already. Like, we're always going to go back to that. You used to be Jamaican. What happened with that? But at the same time, it's like, no, he's gone from being the gimmick Jamaican guy to, hey, this guy has held multiple championships in 11 years. He's made tag team matches worth revisiting all over again. He still has it as a singles competitor. He's ready. And like, yeah, granted he wasn't ready in a particular time, but now it's like, no, you can trust your company with this guy.
Yeah.
And there's fans invested. And yes, you're getting the whole demographic of an African American audience to it as well. But that's what the WWE needs. You need an invested audience always in all your demographics, whether it be black, white, Hispanic, Asian, Middle Eastern. Doesn't matter.
Well, see, there's that word again, invested. We were
And
just
that's
talking
what
about
sucks because it's like, here's what I think. I feel 2 out of 3 McMahons are invested in everybody else, which is Shane and Steph. And you have Father Time over there. Oh, I need to rely on things differently, damn it. No, you need to get out of the time machine that you're stuck in the 90s and like early 2000s of jobbers and attitude and get with the time now. Like, yeah, you say you're with it. You understand social media is the biggest thing now. You even said it himself, but it's like, you're not thinking straight up here anymore. You need to understand people are ready to see Kofi Kingston as a champion. People are ready to see more women's entertainment now. There's nothing wrong with it. So here's my thing going to the match itself. Yeah, when he brought Kevin Owens out, at first I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But then I started thinking like, wait, maybe he's doing this to give Kevin a reason to stay. Like, I'm gonna give you more airtime. You're not gonna be the gimmick you were last year with you and Sami Zayn. Or maybe this is a build-up with him and Sami. Like, maybe Sami comes back at Fastlane.
Ooh.
And maybe Sami goes on a heel run.
With the face Kevin Owens.
Yeah. But you don't put the belt on Kevin.
No.
Like, Daniel still keeps it, but he barely wins it.
Not that Kevin does not deserve it.
No, he does.
Let's face it, the Kevin Owens 2018 was not...
I think that's the worst Kevin Owens I've seen.
Yeah.
Personally.
I think that a face Kevin Owens allows more opportunity at new storylines, at a new perspective of Kevin Owens.
He looks great.
Yeah, and he even small little touch, but I loved it and I was like, okay, this is like a new Kevin Owens. where he does the pop-up powerbomb, but now he does a sit-down powerbomb as opposed to just dropping you. And I'm like, I like that, reinventing yourself, and now along with the stunner, you lost some weight, you're a face now. Okay, it's a new Kevin Owens.
Like, let's keep this going. Please, let's keep this going. Because I would love to see a face Kevin Owens run with opportunities either against a heel Sami Zayn or against many of the heels, whether you stay on SmackDown or you go back to Raw. Personally, I think he should do a run in SmackDown right now. He looks great. He looks like he can keep up with the competition and there's so many people he can compete with.
Yeah.
Right now. Match-wise, like, seeing this match, it's like, do we keep Kofi out of it? Or does he, like, just out of nowhere puts his 2 cents in? Like, you know what? I'm tired of being overlooked still. Like, because it looks like he harbored in that anger.
Yeah.
But he didn't release it like everyone expected. Because during that contract signing, everyone was like, why isn't he blowing up? Why isn't he pissed off as much? Why isn't he, like, showing it? And I think it's like, I think we're seeing something grow here.
Yeah.
Like there's something odd to, and that ending the SmackDown last week, I was just like, ooh, really?
So I say Daniel Bryan walks out. It would make no sense for him not to. As far as Kofi interfering or putting in a 2 cents, not during the match, because then you're begging for what they did with the Raw Women's Championship and asking for a triple threat, which I do not want to see. I want to see a one-on-one match, Kofi Kingston versus Daniel Bryan for the championship. You can still keep Kevin Owens on the card. There are still accolades out there for him to get. We just saw Samoa Joe win the United States Championship. I wouldn't mind seeing a feud with him and Kevin Owens.
I was very surprised by that last night.
Well, Samoa Joe, another example of someone who's been tumbling down that card really, really bad. Like, first person eliminated in the Elimination Chamber type of treatment. Or not winning a champ. I think this is his first championship. Yeah, it's his first championship
on the main roster.
Yeah. So yeah, let's go. I'm going with Daniel Bryan. Let's build to him and Kofi at Mania, because if what they did at Elimination Chamber is a precursor to anything, I think you can have a match of the night at WrestleMania with these two.
I'm gonna say Daniel Bryan as
yes.
well. Okay, so let me see what I have left. All right. Moving on to this match. For the SmackDown Women's Championship, we have current champion Asuka versus Mandy Rose. Mandy's been putting her work in. Yeah, she's had a bajillion matches with Naomi. No matches with any other woman competitor. And a couple with Asuka. She did pin her in a non-title. She almost broke her neck in a live show.
Oh, really?
So, okay. So if you're wondering why Asuka came in and interfered after their match last night, it was because of that. In a live show before that, Mandy hit her finisher on her, but I think, or a different finisher, and Asuka didn't position her head right.
Okay.
Which almost fucked up her neck. Like, yeah, she had to be walked out with the medical team.
Wow.
But obviously you saw Asuka come back, get involved with Mandy. So it's like, okay, are we doing this because Mandy's ready? Or are we doing this because it's like we have nowhere to go with the SmackDown Women's Championship? Because Charlotte's too concerned with a Raw Championship even though she's on SmackDown.
You, myself, and Dan the Man have been talking about this for months. I think this was a big opportunity missed. I'm not happy about the triple threat at Mania. I mean, we know Becky's going to win at Fastlane. That's a no-brainer. But Charlotte should not have any business on that match. First of all, Asuka has not been seen too many times since winning the title, which is a disgrace if you think about it.
Let's look at it this way. When's the last time we saw Asuka overall? Let's start there.
Elimination Chamber?
No, she wasn't even there.
Royal Rumble?
Exactly. From Royal Rumble to last night. I think I've only seen her twice in between that. Not counting live shows. And it's like, You serious? She has a fucking belt on her. What the fuck are you guys doing?
And that's the thing. It's like Mandy. I don't got a problem with her, but again, I'm not invested. I am invested in Sonya. I would have loved to see that.
Well, this is something. Okay, if I could play devil's advocate, if I could be serious, let me play a little game of devil's advocate. Let's just put this match together. You know, Mandy winning, getting a pinfall on Asuka, winning the belt.
Ooh.
You have Sonya like cheering her, congratulating her, and then out of nowhere, I'm tired of being held down by you. Everyone rooted for me more than you during Elimination Chamber. I held us together. You cost us the tag belts. Let's split them up, because honestly, if people want to see that Sonya Deville run and see what she's capable of, right now would be the best time to pull that trigger on.
Yes.
Because honestly, don't get me wrong, I think they're a great team, but to me it's like, no, you guys are better off separate, because honestly I see you both as singles competitors better than a tag team.
Well, it's the it's the remains of Absolution, is what that is.
Yeah, but at this point, Paige is a movie star right now. And what else do we have with Absolution at this point? Nothing. Nothing at all. To have this, like, don't get me wrong, like, some people would want to see Sonya as a face. She's better as a heel. She's more competitive. I would love to see that happen. Don't get me wrong, Asuka should deserve more TV time.
Asuka deserves more, period.
Yeah, but it's like, if you guys as a company don't really trust her, because the language barrier thing maybe, or because of the fact that it's like, I don't know what you guys have with not premiering her, or the U.S. Championship as much, maybe it's time to put it on someone else. And maybe build something even bigger. Or you can still involve Asuka. You could do it this way. Asuka wins. Mandy's frustrated. But you could have it where Sonya costs Mandy the opportunity. And you could build a triple threat to Mania for that belt. Because honestly, I don't want to see one women's championship being decided at WrestleMania. I want both, if not all, championships decided at WrestleMania.
You better if you know what's good for your company.
And if you have a triple threat, cool. Why not? I would want to see Mandy versus Sonya versus Asuka at one point.
Becky even called this out where she's like, when I was women's champion, SmackDown women's champion, that belt was relevant. Look what's happened ever since I haven't had that championship anymore. Not exactly a direct jab at Asuka, but more of the booking committee. Yeah, I just felt like everything just got so skewed and, perplexed and, just out of place, because I know all of us wanted to see Charlotte versus Asuka too. Personally, with Asuka going over this time and kind of once again building up that momentum again of being the Empress of Tomorrow. But no, we got to put Charlotte where she really doesn't belong, and that's in a match that we've all been wanting to see. So yeah, I mean, in this match, I'm going with Asuka. I mean, I doubt Mandy's gonna win. Yeah, it's like, this sucks because it seems like this is such a throwaway pay-per-view. Like, you and I so far have expressed our grievances of how we're not invested really in much.
Like, normally I get disappointed when I can't watch pay-per-views with you guys. I won't be as disappointed if I can't watch this. I'll be okay coming home after work. You're like, all right, let's watch it. And it's like, you're not adding spice to this. You're just doing this out of like, I guess,
I mean, back in the day, they had Royal Rumble, one pay-per-view in between, and then it was Mania. Now it's like, let's have two pay-per-views before Mania. And it's like, while that would be a good platform for you to build on your stars, you're not exactly doing that here.
So real quick before we move on, who do you have for this?
Asuka.
Okay, I'm gonna still continue with my devil's advocate and put
Okay.
Mandy over, even though we know what can happen. But my thing is it's just maybe Becky's right. Maybe the booking committee is really like falling apart right now.
She's right, definitely.
There's 2 matches left. You want to do women or men? I feel like we have more to say about her.
Yeah.
All right. We have the following 6. Well, let me just write it in because again, we always write in who we think is gonna win these matches, and then the following episode, obviously, you guys know we review and give our grading of the pay-per-view. So I'm just writing this in now. We have the 6-man tag match with. God, I hate these people so much. Well, only one of them. Baron Corbin.
Everyone's favorite constable.
Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath, and Bobby LaPisha Lashley versus the Hounds of Justice.
Maybe.
Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta,
Shield.
Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. The band's back together one more night. Okay. Here's the thing that I want to address first, because I think, and I'm liking everyone on social media that is a real invested fan of wrestling, and isn't just like a mark. Everyone thinks this is a work with Roman.
Or Dean?
No, just Roman. I'm talking about Joe with his whole remission cancer thing.
Okay.
And a lot of people who are the true fans are specifying remission doesn't mean he's fully healed. It means that his cancer has gone away, but it's still there, but he's able to live, able to continue to live, able to work in a condition where it's not harming his body. He's not fully healed yet.
By the way, I watched the Chronicle of Roman Reigns, and he said that now apparently there are pills that help you put this thing into remission. So I think he put that in there because everybody was like, how did you get this to come back? And now a couple of months later you say it's in remission. How did that happen so quickly? And he went on to specify that, there's been a lot of advancements, and one of them are these pills. So continue.
Oh, but that adds to my point, is because these people think, and I hate that if the fans would think of this, it's like, oh, you just wanted to find a way to get over. And it's like, no. Cancer's not a thing that goes away for anybody. He knows that very well. And for people thinking that this was a work, then fuck you. Flat out. Stop listening if you think that. Because honestly, I would never be someone that would wish the worst for anyone like that. Yeah. Especially cancer. Like, yeah, I have harbored hatred for people, but not in the regards of they need to die of a fucking terminal illness. Hell no, that's horrible.
I've personally had a friend who's gone through this, and I think there are exceptions. My buddy has gone on to tell me that the last remaining cells of that cancer are gone from his body. He does still go and get checkups once every 6 months just to make sure everything is good. So for me, it was a very touchy subject. The thought did cross my mind. I'm like, Vince, you better not be screwing with us. Because knowing your history of taking the real life stuff and just putting it, on your shows, like the triple threat with Matt, Edge, and Lita. Not that this is anything like up to that level, but it's like knowing you and what you will do to get eyes on your product.
Like you're willing to cross lines that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Crossed.
But let's address a few things here. So Roman comes out and I think gives us one of the biggest swerves, because we talked about this, all three of us, where Roman should not be in the title picture immediately. And it seemed like for a second on Raw, he was going to tell Seth, you got something I want, and that's my Universal Championship. But then he turns it and goes, all I got to say to you is good luck at WrestleMania.
No, it's like if he's not concerned about being a champion right now.
I think the writers are taking note of, hey guys, we still want this guy to be the face of the company, but we can't do what we did last time because it didn't work. Now we have a fresh start. Where do we go with him? And I think that's why Roman came out and said, one last time, get the band back together. Now, rumor on the street is that before Roman left, the scheduled match at Mania that he was supposed to have was against Dean Ambrose. Everyone has gone on to believe that at Fastlane there might be a betrayal.
Tempting.
Which,
I think it'd be too early for that right now. The reason why is because you got the band back together. You have Roman in a state of mind where he's like, I'm not worried about belts. I'm not worried about being the man right now. I'm worried about where I left. I left and I saw my friends fall apart. Granted, yeah, the three of them individually are great performers. They've done so much in 6 years, but they're all amazing together.
yeah.
I think, as big as DX, as big as the NWO, they're the next biggest dominant team ever, and it's only 3. Just like how DX was only 2 and NWO originally was 4.
And then 7 limos.
And 40 more people. The B version of the NWO, oh my god. But you know what I mean by this. It's like, I think seeing, and I love the build up. Whereas like you see Roman and Seth just there like, come on.
I loved it.
Like,
I
like,
felt something. I'm not gonna lie.
I think what it was that something I felt was like, okay, Dean's reluctant because it's like, no, I don't need you. I'm not weak. But I'll join you. To me, it's like, you're not doing anything wrong by going back to your brothers. You're showing that they will be there for you in your darkest hour, regardless if you don't need them. You're not weak without them. You're just as strong with them or without them.
His booking has been weak, I will say that.
Oh, fuck yeah, it has. But now there's that rumor, too, that this is a work now. Or they're sticking that, yeah, he is leaving. So it's like, what are you doing with him now?
Jobbing him out every week.
But did this look like a job to put him back with the Shield?
Well, he got done losing to Elias.
So annoying. Not that I don't want to walk with Elias, but I'm just saying, it's so annoying.
Again, I don't know. I talked about this where I was like, you need to send him out on a high note, because with everything that we've seen so far, so many legends who we thought would never come back somehow eventually find their way back to the WWE, to home, as everybody likes to put it. But if you're jobbing this guy out and giving him you're deciding to walk out, well, you're going to pay the price treatment, then, he's
this
not...
is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is bullshit.
I'm going with Shield just because I feel like if the Shield wins, you build on Seth's momentum to WrestleMania. Roman has his comeback match. Dean finally catches a break. And maybe in the coming weeks we see a betrayal. Because I know we originally penciled in for Drew versus Roman at Mania, which I would still love to see. But some people might say that it might be almost poetic for him to verse Dean Ambrose. So
I think my thing with this is just that I feel like it's way too early.
For Dean versus Roman?
I just think it is. Not because of the booking for Roman's sake. Well, it is because of that. Let me reverse that. It's not good for Dean. Because it's like, I think Dean deserves something bigger. Not to say that Roman isn't big enough. But Dean, if he really is leaving, like legitimate, I'm done. Even though supposedly the Shield is scheduled for matches till May.
Really?
That's the rumor. So it's like, if Dean's leaving, he should be given a good match against someone. And I think that someone, I would love to see Dean versus Drew. Drew's begging for a match at Mania. He's begging for Seth's spot. But it's like, no. Seth earned it. You didn't earn shit. And to me, it's like, okay. Well, you want to get to Seth because I can get to him, get through me. You want him bad enough. You want to earn that Universal Championship. Come through me first. And if they can pull off a 5-star match at Mania, I think that'd be the biggest send-off for Dean.
Yeah.
Because honestly, Dean has always had the potential. But it's always been creative. It's always been booking. It's like everything that he is so good at doing, no, we're going to swerve you. Why the fuck would you do it to this guy out of all three? Out of the mouthpiece of the group. Out of, he doesn't look like the biggest, baddest one because that was given to Roman. He's not the psychological type, just as Seth is. But he's the craziest, fiercest competitor of the three. And you always underbook him.
Yeah. Or
you tell him, we know you can take it to the extreme, but don't. And it's like, come on, man. Let him pull the trigger.
For all of our viewers, you can go a couple episodes back where we actually discussed, Dean Ambrose's career up to this point, and I went on to record to say I don't blame him for wanting to walk out. For a guy who walked into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion and was in the pre-show, that pretty much tells you. So I'm going with Shield winning this one just because I feel like it's gonna benefit everyone, Roman, Seth, and Dean. You're
not burying the other three. They're not going anywhere. The constable, that fucker's there for a while. He won't shut the fuck up, but he's there. Drew, he could lose, and he's still gonna rise.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the fuck is going on with Lashley with this whole, you're holding my belt, but I'm better than Brock. Like, which one is it? You want to be the Intercontinental Champ, or do you want to face the person you've already beaten once? And someone who you claim you can beat in the octagon in MMA.
Has he beat him?
They've never fought each other in the octagon. They've never fought a UFC fight.
They haven't fought in a wrestling ring either, have they?
I thought they have.
No, they haven't.
Well, he claims he can beat him. He claims he's the actual man to beat Brock Lesnar. It's like, sure?
SummerSlam Blockbuster, maybe?
Sure. I don't care. Because your return to me has been very stagnant. And now, let us move in to the final match. I'm hoping it's the main event because this card is very disappointing. And you have, let's boo the woo.
Put her everywhere just because she's a Flair.
Charlotte versus, according to damn the man, Becky Lynch.
The Baxter.
With the stipulation if Becky wins, or let's just say it, when Becky wins, she goes on to WrestleMania to face Ronda. I'm now a heel. And Charlotte Flair. Woo.
I believe that on Raw, right before it went off the air, they had an opportunity to save this and salvage this. When Raccoon came out and said, I want my belt back, I thought Stephanie was going to say, okay, we will still have Becky versus Charlotte at Fastlane. Whoever wins the match goes on to face Ronda.
You know what? Ronda has to earn her belt back?
Quote unquote. No one wanted to see a triple threat. We were all begging for a one-on-one match, which I think we still really want to see and we deserve.
I don't want to see 3.
EC3?
Him either. What's the point of them 3? It was so perfect, just one-on-one.
It's the one match where it was a blessing in disguise of what happened.
We're making up for what we didn't get in November.
For a good reason.
And it's like, you're ruining it. Like, why? Is it really her name? Is it really because of her name?
Oh, definitely.
And that kills me because not even Flair himself would do this.
Can she perform? Yes. Does she have a great look? Yes. Does she deserve to be in a title picture? Yes.
Yeah.
Not this one.
The other one. Finish what you started in SmackDown. Speaking of which.
Yeah, I felt like you had the perfect opportunity to build up Asuka and Charlotte Part 2 at Mania, and then just have Becky and Ronda close out the show.
Even Stephanie McMahon said it where she was like, this could be possibly the biggest thing to happen in WrestleMania history, where you have the women close the show, where you have Ronda and Becky only.
Yeah, but this will, I feel like it will forever go tainted because...
Oh, it is. No, it will always be like what could have been.
It's like, we only wanted 2 out of the 3. We didn't need the third person in there.
Never. And even if, like, Miss Little Rousey quit, well, the rumor is she's gone the night after Mania. I don't know. But even if she was gone, it would have been lackluster to see Charlotte versus Becky for the Raw Championship, because it's like, what's the story? Oh, you have the Roid Rage Ecstasy Freak from Royal Rumble wanting something she didn't earn? And it's like, oh, by the way, we're reinstating you from a suspension that is bullshit, but you don't earn it from the person you're supposed to earn it. You're earning it from a sub. And it's like, you're tainting this so bad for me.
To see Becky and Charlotte again,
I'm over it.
Would be a very big mistake, because we've been seeing it since August, since SummerSlam. We're gonna see it Sunday, so if you want to pepper that in again, we don't want to see that. We don't want anything to do with that. Something tells me that it's like you still have the opportunity to take Charlotte out of this and put her in the SmackDown title picture. You still can, even after Fastlane. Are they? I don't think so. But I feel like you and I pretty much have our winner picked.
Ooh.
He has an idea.
Can I play devil's advocate again?
You've been more than one advocate at this point, so why not?
So, let's just say during the women's tag match, you have NXT competitors get a little hungry for those belts and almost cost them the championship.
Which match are we talking about?
We're talking about Boston Hug versus Nia Tamina.
Okay.
You have 2 people from NXT interfere. Which 2? I don't know. They kind of relate to Ronda Rousey in a way. The 4 of MMA. I don't know. Well, this is 2 of them. And then during, I think this is going to be the main event. Charlotte and Becky. Let's just say Becky wins. But you got Little Miss, I'm finally a heel, even though it's too late in my opinion. Let's just say those same 2 from the tag match are still around the building. You have Shayna Baszler come in, leading the pack. Little Miss Ronda's pissed off because she has to face both of them. She 6 those 3 on those 2. You don't hurt Becky, but you hurt Charlotte enough that she's out of the WrestleMania picture. So Ronda gets what she wants.
Right.
But Charlotte's now fuming and angry that, like, no, you cost me something and you put me on the shelf. But you almost ruined my friends' tag team match. Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3 people now angry at the 4 horsewomen of the MMA. And you have the man going for the championship match. Oh, wait, is that 4 horsewomen versus 4 horsewomen that slowly builds up in Mania and goes to Survivor Series? I'm hoping. I'm hoping. But since the little bitch is going to quit after Raw, after Mania, might not happen. God damn it.
And there it goes.
I don't want her there, but keep her there till November, and she can ride off because she's like the Conor McGregor now of the WWE.
I have no idea what she was saying in her promo still, so.
How do you not? Come on, man. At this
Well,
point,
that last part where she's like, no more Miss Nice what?
nice bitch. No more Mrs. Nice bitch.
She didn't say that.
Yeah, she did.
It sounded like something else.
No, it's what she said. Believe me, I replayed it a couple times to be sure. Like,
Well, see, the fact that you have to replay it a couple times.
well, here's my thing. Okay, let's go back to the situation of the three. Just the three. No more devil's advocate for now.
Wink, wink.
I don't know what it is that it's like you need to have Ronda Rousey have two competitors. I don't get it. I really don't. Because to me, it's like she claims she's the baddest woman on the planet, supposedly. And she showed her true colors of what it is to actually fight someone. I think that's the first time I ever seen her really fight, like, as herself.
On Raw?
Ever. In wrestling. Because to me, it's like, okay, I saw, and I'm not going to lie, I saw shades of her MMA days in UFC go in that little strike against Becky. And to me, it's like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, are you doing what the fans want in turning heel? Or are you legitimately like, no, fuck the WWE. I don't care if I'm a face or a heel. I don't give a damn about this anymore. I'm just going to be a bitch. I'm going to beat everybody up. And to me, it's like, are you blurring the lines of reality and the WWE, which we all know, booking-wise, it's fake. Competition we know is real because these people get hurt. But it's like, you go in a Twitter war last week and you piss off Vince McMahon. Even Becky told you, don't say the F word. I know where I'm going with it. I'm just toying along with you. You took it to a point where you thought I was legitimately talking shit about you. And it's like, you idiot. No, like Ronda was an idiot for her stupid Twitter war last week because it's like, oh, this is all fake. And it's like, no, you fucking moron. What is wrong with you? Like...
And they claim that she's had extensive training.
In what?
Do you now see where my frustration has been?
No, I've had that frustration with her. My thing is, it's like, I'm frustrated with her because as a competitor, she's a whiny little crybaby when she loses. And I hate that about her because it's like, oh, you don't get your way? You're going to cry? You're going to run away? Fine, fuck off then. You cried so fucking bad at fucking UFC that you want to commit suicide. Now, let me just go on record right now. I am someone who knows the pressures and ideals of dealing with suicide. Not me completely, but I've had people in my life that have dealt with it, and unfortunately only one has crossed that line. It's not the end of the world if you lose your first fight. Why would you go in that direction? Do you not know what it's like to lose? There's nothing wrong if you lose. Why did it have to be that route? And then all of a sudden you wait a whole year to come back. You come back, you get your ass kicked again. I'm done. I can't do this sport anymore. But I can do another sport. One that I've claimed is my dream. And you make the biggest mockery out of it. To the point that you don't understand that at one point your creative team was trying to tell you, you need to turn now. You need to be a bad guy now. You waited until this past Monday. Damn the band, boo the woo, no more Mrs. Nice Bitch. You booed me out of my own home in Los Angeles. Like, I don't know if you're selling it or if you're serious now.
No, she's serious because the reports broke out that after SummerSlam, she was apparently disappointed with the fans. What's that one comment she said to that one guy? You're not a man.
Oh, in Survivor Series, yeah, because
Survivor Series,
because he called her out about her loss to someone in MMA.
Okay,
can we? I want to address if we could be serious for a minute.
I was just gonna say, let me take the gimmick off. Let me take the off, and this is just Sean speaking. I guess I'm taking a survey here.
Hey, yo.
Has she broken barriers?
Yes.
Has she shattered glass ceilings?
Yes.
Has she changed the perception of women in sports all around the world?
Her herself?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she has. I attest to that. I agree to that. And I respect that. But, if you don't learn to humble yourself and not act like you're the shit and that I'm invincible, you can't touch me, it goes to show that when someone leaves a mark on your face, that's what it does to you. I've noticed with her, and I actually went back and watched some of her interviews. The second when someone calls her out, not even calls her out, just goes, I want to ask you about this. And it's not a so pleasant subject. It's more of a thing where it's like,
it's triggering.
Here's maybe a small criticism. What do you think? And you can tell immediately in her face, like that thing turns where she's like, next question. And it's like, when you come to WWE, you're not going to have everyone's approval. Ask John Cena, ask Roman Reigns, ask a multiple of people, and they will tell you. Not everyone is going to approve of you and say, you're my favorite wrestler. I love it every time you step inside the ring. So here's my thing with her. You've broken barriers. You've done a lot of great things for the sport. But so have a lot of other people in WWE, outside of WWE. You don't see them walking around with their chin up high and saying, I'm the shit. You can't touch me. You can't tell me any different. And it's like, that's what pisses me off. It's like, yes, you have broken down barriers, and you've said that in your promos, and I will give that to you. I'm not going to take that away. But humble yourself. For someone like The Rock is a prime example of someone who revolutionized the sports of wrestling, went to Hollywood, became the highest paid actor, and still to this day is humble about each and every bit of it. That's respectable. That's commendable. That's sportsmanship right there.
So what is it? Okay, what is it that in particular infuriates you when it comes to her?
It's exactly that. Is that she thinks that she's the shit, that everybody's out to see her, that if it's not her, it's not going to be anybody else. That if I'm not here, then forget it. There is no star of the show. That there is no competition. There is no talk if I'm not there, if I'm not in the main picture. You want to go out and you want to call Becky Lynch out and say, you were in the pre-show. I was stealing the show. Do you really want to know why that is? I think because you know why that is because just because you're Ronda Rousey, you come into the WWE and you get pushed to the mountaintop. And yeah, the first couple months of your WWE career, everybody approves. Everybody is cheering you.
Couple months. By the way.
Everybody's cheering you. Everybody's screaming your praises. That's great. What happens once the audience goes, no,
we're tired of you.
Not anymore.
We're bored.
Oh, no. Oh, you made me stutter in my promo. Oh, good job, Oh, I come out here. You want to boo me in my own hometown. And we've talked about it before. She cannot take it. She just cannot take it. She can't. And that's the one thing about me is that you want to break down barriers. You want to do that. And yet you can't take criticism. Guess what? It goes with the territory. It goes in UFC. It goes in WWE. Not everybody is going to embrace you and go, you're my favorite. I have respect for you. So that's what really bugs me is that she goes on to think that the reason why she is where she is because of her name, of what she's done. When it's like, no, the only reason why you are where you are is because Vince McMahon knew that he can get a lot of advertising out of you. And WWE needs, that cross-promotional, inter-promotional type of thing, an outsider to come in. Like, basically, they're pulling the Mike Tyson for WrestleMania 14, where it's like, How can we get eyes? Bring in Ronda Rousey. And I've said this before. Had she actually gone to the Performance Center, and you could even documented this on WWE Network for only $9.99. You could have documented this and gone, Ronda Rousey, she's paying her dues. She's at the Performance Center. We don't know when she's going to come in. She's paying her dues for now. She's going to promo class. She's getting in the ring. She's taking the bumps. You bring her in, and then you tell me that a month or 2 months later, she's ready. WrestleMania match, Women's Championship, spotlight on every single pay-per-view. How does that happen?
So let's take this further. Okay. Is it because she's already had the training in MMA and UFC? Maybe. But does that grant her the readiness? No, that never did in my eyes. Because one, I think this should have been used. I think she should have gone the Kurt Angle route. Kurt Angle knew when he first came in, he wasn't going to be booked immediately. He wasn't going to be promoted like, oh, you're up and ready. Even though you're an amateur wrestler, you're a gold medal winner. No.
Well, here's the thing, is that people have even gone on record to say that Kurt Angle was one of those guys where he came in from being an Olympic athlete, but he picked up the sport almost immediately.
And then you have The Undertaker advocating that for you, because he was one of them who said, like, he picked it up early, he picked it up quick, but like he knew his position.
If you look at Kurt Angle, it wasn't just WWE champion. He went to be European champion, Intercontinental champion, and then we got WWE championship. And even then, he wasn't being pushed as like, it's only Kurt Angle. It's the Kurt Angle show. So it's like, that's my biggest problem, is that I can respect that, in the UFC or even all around the world. Yes, you made things happen. You shattered glass ceilings. You broke down doors. That is great. I will never take that away from you. I've always been taught, no matter how much you like or you hate someone, you give them their credit. You give them their proper respect. If they've done something, you acknowledge it. Don't just throw it away and say, no, that didn't happen. But it's just her demeanor. It's like, had she been able to talk, had she been able to consistently have great matches, and had she had continued to stay humble, I would have been like, yeah, go ahead. You do your thing. Bring eyeballs on the product. But the fact that you come in and you're booked to win and everybody's supposed to job out to you, and the second when superstars, and she's even gone on to say, oh, I know that half the roster, I get the feeling they don't like me.
More like 90% of the roster doesn't like you. And you're saying F certain people because they don't have the background in your mixed martial arts capability like you do.
I mean, and
like
she
you
wanted
start
to
rivalries with people you don't even have to. Like, what was the point of her saying "fuck Sonya Deville"?
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, "You're in separate shows." Just because she laughed at something about you in the past, you're holding that against her?
Again, she can't take it. She wants to be loved. She wants to be admired. She wants to be...
It's like she can only be loved. She can't be hated.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. No one is perfect in this world. Not everyone's going to love you. There's people who will hate you, who will not like you. That's just life.
I know you threw this out a couple episodes back when we were reviewing the Rumble. I actually go back and listen to this all the time because I think you hit the nail right on the head. She's been prodded and she's been booked outside of WWE. She's been booked in her life by people like Dana White and all the people she's surrounded by. She's been booked as, you're always going to win. You're going to be unstoppable. No one can touch you.
Nope.
And then what happens when all that comes crashing down? What happens when you realize...
I'm human.
I'm human. Exactly. And you went on to say that, it's like, in moments like that, yeah, wrap your arm around someone and say, it's tough, you lost, but you have to get over it. Not coddling someone and saying, I'm sorry, the mystique is gone, the bravado, I don't know what to do. No!
Don't baby them.
Yeah. And that's what
everyone needs to be told at one point there.
Yeah, you've lost. On this one, you lost. That's it.
Use this as an opportunity to build yourself back up.
To grow, to be better. What is this going to teach you? I'm going to tie in a quick story here. Diamond Dallas Page in an interview said that how when Cody Rhodes, I believe he was doing amateur wrestling, Cody Rhodes actually built up a streak. I forget what the number, I think it was like 12-0, 14-0, something. And Diamond Dallas Page one time called Cody and said, "Hey, young buck, what's going on?" And Cody Rhodes, "I lost, Dallas. I lost." You know what Diamond Dallas told him? Thank God. To the point where Cody's like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you say that?" And he's like, "Cody, do you think you've earned anything from winning? No. You have to lose. You have to learn your lesson. You have to climb back up. You have to climb up that ladder in life to become better as a person." Ronda does not want to do that. Going back to your point, she was, I'm kind of bad on the statistics.
She's 12-0.
She was gone for a year?
She's 12-0, went 12-1, left for a year, came back
12-2.
12-2.
Okay, you claim that WWE was my first passion. Bullshit. Utter and complete bullshit. I don't believe that. Had you sit there and said UFC was my passion, I believe you. I will 100% believe you, and I will not rebuttal. But it seems to me like the second when you feel like the approval is gone, the admiration is gone, the bravado is gone, I can't do this anymore. Where do I... WWE. Yeah, let me go to WWE. So I know I'm rambling on here, but
No, you're fine.
But yeah, I'm just that you want to ask me what pisses me off? It's just that she's been pushed to the moon, and she's been handed. There it is. She's been handed title match, main event, pay-per-view spots. When half that roster who's been busting their ass long before that raccoon came in and took the spotlight, they don't even get a shred of the spotlight that she gets.
And she's angry that the fan base has turned on her.
That's part of the territory. Are there exceptions? Yes. If you're a Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you're a Shawn Michaels, come and do the same shtick night after night, you're going to get cheered. Inevitable. Select few? I'm sorry. That's not going to work. It's just not. Ask the John Cena's of the world. Ask the Roman Reigns of the world. That's not going to work. But Ronda, no. You got to cheer
It
me.
needs to work.
It needs to work. Despite all odds, it needs to work. You got to cheer me.
Nope. No, I don't. I do not have to do that.
So...
And this is what kills me about WrestleMania. You finally did what you think the fans want out of you now. They want to see Miss Bad Guy. No more Mrs. Nice Bitch. Whatever. Okay. Like I said, you took too long to do that. Personally. You should have been a heel by last year. Hell, you should have started being a heel when you cost Becky her championship to Asuka. My problem is that it's like now it seems like you're gonna leave. Are you leaving temporarily? I've been trying to find a report that says how long she's gone or she's done completely. I haven't found anything. But what is bugging me so bad about this it's for someone who fucking claims that they're the baddest, that they're capable of anything, and it's like, I do what the fans want. And it's like, okay, you're not really doing what they want now. You just said, fuck the fantasy. Not in those little words, but like, damn this fantasy, I'm not your puppet anymore. And it's like, I don't believe your promo. I just think you're naturally mad. I just think because things aren't going your way, you're upset. John Cena knows nobody likes him. He knows half the crowd is cheering for him and half the crowd is booing him. He knows it. He welcomes it. He even is kayfabed out and said, yeah, not everyone likes me anymore. But guess what? When you know that, you don't break. She broke. That promo of her coming in, telling Stephanie, give me my belt back. I didn't vacate it. I just gave you a week. Like, no, you fucking vacated the belt. In my eyes, when you lay down a belt in front of your boss and you walk, that's you saying, I'm done with this belt. I'm done with this promotion. I'm done being here. You know ROH is not going to accept you. All Elite probably will just look at you like, nah, I don't need you. You have nowhere else to go other than retirement. And she said it herself that she can retire if she wanted to. That she has enough money to do it. And to me, it's like, you put yourself in a position so bad that it's like, if you're gone tomorrow, I wouldn't care. I would not care.
When you say gone.
Done with WWE.
Okay.
Like you're no longer a part of the organization. That you're no longer willing to do this anymore. That you're over it. Cool. Peace the fuck out. Kick rocks. You ruined everything with your fucking need to be loved and admired by the world. No one's gonna always love you. People are genuinely gonna hate you. Or not like you, or not tolerate you, or not want to be your friend. It sucks because it's like you're taking away from us fans who do want to watch you fight. And of course lose to someone who's more than earned their right to be the champion now. But you just don't want to do it.
You know, I can also tie some of this in with Charlotte. Charlotte, I know for a fact that even before her first match, she's known that, hey, when I go out there, there's always going to be a throwback to, oh, you're Ric Flair's daughter. That's the reason why you're getting everything. And she gets asked about it all the time. I've seen her interviews where, hey, Charlotte, we hear this. What do you think? And she, in a very calm, cool, collected voice, says, look, from day one, I understand. Fans are going to get that way. They're going to always point back to that. Yes, I get it. I accept it. Accept it. Accept. Key word. With people like Ronda, no, you can't say anything bad about me.
Yeah, I can. No, you can't. No, we can.
I wouldn't even mind if this past year she started off in NXT. Let her have a little spot in NXT.
So let her do what her friends did. Build themselves up.
Is it too much to ask for?
No.
And I get it. There's the whole thing of, oh, but she's Ronda Rousey.
I don't care.
Household name for a decade? Yeah, you've been a household name for a decade, but going back to your point, in that same decade, you cracked. For a second in that same decade, you were no more. That's not a knock on you. Look, going back to your point, suicide is a very serious thing. No one is laughing about it. Nobody's joking about it. Personally, hey, I don't advocate it. I believe that it's not the answer to anything in life. And this is just me personally talking without the Sean. This is just Sean talking right here. But I've said it before. If you don't humble yourself, and that doesn't mean that you have to, kneel down, kiss everyone's feet and whatnot. No. Humble yourself. One last thing I'm going to throw in there. When Roman Reigns won the Royal Rumble, and Roman has told this story multiple times. When The Rock came out and saved the evening, quote unquote, The Rock whispered in Roman's ear 2 words. Stay humble. If you have someone like The Rock, whose family's lineage falls in the WWE, who they've had multiple superstars in that same lineage from that same family, and he's a big-time movie star, someone who's made it, someone who could come back at any given time and make an appearance and pop the crowd and make a moment. If you have someone like that who has reached the pinnacle of success telling you, stay humble, what does that mean?
Do what that man has just told you to do.
Yeah. And Roman, here's the thing. We always hated Roman Reigns, the character. I don't got a problem with Joe. Watching Chronicle, watching his last 2 promos, I'm like, Joe seems like a great human being. Someone who's been through his fair share of good times and bad times. But at the end of the day, The guy is humble. The guy humbles himself.
Because he knows. He knows otherwise where he comes from and what his legacy in the family that he's from is.
He, out of everyone, knows that he's not invincible.
Yeah.
No matter how many championships you win, no matter how many WrestleManias you headline. That's my biggest problem with her. If she can humble herself and stay in her line, I wouldn't have a problem with her. But the fact that the second someone decides to turn their head and go, no, I'm not invested in you, how dare you?
Why? What? No. I need this. Fuck out of here then.
So, with that, any parting words for Fastlane or?
I mean, we already picked our winner. We already picked Becky to win. So, the only thing I'd love to say about this is just that it's sad that I'm not invested as much in this pay-per-view. It's another where it's just like, what am I going to get out of this? Other than, like, you're supposed to, you say you know what you're doing. You say you know what you're booking and all this bullshit. But right now, I'm just waiting for WrestleMania. I'm just waiting for that moment to happen. And it's like, all right. Cool. The hype is kind of down right now, but you need a saving grace. And I'm hoping that this is a saving grace. Otherwise, the next 4 weeks are really going to have to be like all hands on deck. Everything goes off without a hitch. And WrestleMania 35 is now one of the best WrestleManias. Let's just see.
Only time will tell. So, I think this is just the last, it's like to say the last stop before we finally pencil and put everything in for Mania. I'm just hoping for a good card for WrestleMania.
Vince, please. Please. Hand over the reins to your son-in-law or to your kids. It's time. It's time. It's favorite time.
So, with that said, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you all